Hello, Facebook family and friends. Today's Monday, May 24th. Just want to make a short video today and put some information out. I'm a little late on getting this material out, but I've been kind of watching the news and watching what's going on around the world. I wanted to make sure some things before I got to talking about a few subjects today. Uh, First one I want to speak about is going to be grid down. I mean, we're seeing a lot of this hacking going on. They've already demonstrated they can shut down a city. Like, for example, San Francisco in the last 5 years was held for ransom, which they paid the ransom off. We've seen recently where a pipeline was shut down that affected the price of gas and also the availability of it. There's been a couple phone companies, mobile phone companies, been shut down. Uh, there's been some banks. There's been quite a bit of things happening, and it's a matter of time before they get around to attacking our power grid and shutting it down, even though I don't expect that to happen right now. Now, recently in Taiwan, that just happened in the last 2 weeks. They believe China was behind it, but nobody's saying for sure. But someone came in and totally turned the power off to the country. So if it happens here, I want you to realize that with no gas, there won't be no gas stations running if the power grid gets cut. So only gas you're going to have is what you got in your car and what you have in extra gas cans if you're smart enough to have some extra gas around. And then you got to hope you got enough to last until that so-called disaster is over with. Banks will not be open. So that means if you think you're going to go to the ATM, get some cash out, I advise you to keep some money at your house, because that's the only money that you're going to have. If you put all your money in the bank, unfortunately, if the grid goes down, you will not have access to your own money. Another thing is, again, if you don't keep money at your house, how are you going to go out and buy things that you're short on? If you're lucky enough to find some stores that are open, they're only going to take cash. They're not going to accept checks. They're not going to be able to run your credit cards. So if that's what you're counting on, you're counting wrong. You walk in, if they're still accepting cash, that's the only currency that you're going to have. Other than that, all you can hope for is to have a network of people set up that you're going to be able to barter and trade with. Trade products for their services, or trade services for services, or products for products. That's barter and trade. It's the only way that you're going to be able to get the things that you're short on in the event the power grid is taken down. Now, to me, I don't think we're in no immediate danger. If it's going to happen, I figure they'll do it somewhere close to winter time, when they can get the most casualties. I mean, if the power grid goes down after October, I'd say it'd be so cold outside that the inside of your house would turn to a deep freeze within 2 or 3 hours. And you're not going to be able to drive to a local motel, because what if the grid has been taken down over half the nation, or the whole nation the grid is taken down? Where are you going to go? Right now, even President Obama said that was his biggest fear, is that someone would get smart enough and would take the grid down and plunge the country into a financial disaster. Knowing that, start getting your defenses together on how you're going to have power. Do you have a generator? Do you have a solar system? Do you have a wind turbine system that you can hook up? Do you know how to take an alternator out of a car and be able to run an alternator to try to power a few lights or something around your house? Start getting that together. Start figuring on how you're going to heat the house, whether it's going to be solar, propane. Do you have a wood burning stove? Things like that are going to come in handy in the event things go down. So you're going to want to have some items purchased and put back for that. But grid down right now is going to be the most worst situation that we can face. And with all this hacking going on, it's just a matter of time before they get around to it. And I don't think it's that far in the future. Some individual or small group, or even an enemy nation or terrorist group, can come in over the internet and hack the system. You only have three major power grids in the United States. You have East Grid, you have West Grid, and you have Texas. Texas has its own grid basically. So if you get someone smart enough to come in and attack all three systems, if they can only successfully attack one, they're either going to take down the whole East Coast or they're going to take down the whole West Coast. So that's something that you have to decide how prepared you want to be. And that brings me to the next issue. If someone brings you some good information, what do you do with it? If you get some good intel that something's about to happen, how do you handle that? I go back to the parable of the three pigs. All three had the same information about the big bad wolf going to come, blow the house down. Each one was tasked with building a structure that could withstand said attack or said threat. Each one in their own mind did their own threat analysis, and each one went out and took a certain amount of preparation in their build. The one that built their house of straw, as far as they was concerned, that was just an urban myth. Didn't believe in it. Didn't want to even admit the possibility. They were going to live their life. They was going to live a good life, and if death came and took them away, then everybody would be back saying, "Oh, they knew how to live." Well, that's foolishness. Then look at the one that built their house of stick. He kept watching the one that was out there playing, living their life so well, he just half done a shelter. Those type of people are good starters but poor finishers. They're known to look toward others to see what others are doing before they can even make a decision. And on top of that, he made the wrong one and perished for that reason. The one that built their house of brick, those people are hard chargers. You give them a good piece of information, they're going to constantly ask the question, well, what if this is true? What do I need to put in place to be prepared? And he took the appropriate action and survived the calamity that came their direction. So figure out which one you're going to be. You want to be the one that's going to think that this is an urban myth, like a lot of people with this COVID. You had close to 42% of population still don't believe it's real. Even though it's done killed people, still don't believe it's real. Do you want to be the one that builds their house of stick? You're constantly looking to others to decide what you need to do, and you're going to do just enough to be just a little bit above average? Or do you want to be the person that's going to take charge, get things handled, and if disaster comes, you're prepared? And if no disaster comes, that's fine. You have your preparations in place, and you can still go live your life. Then another thing I want to bring up is food pantry. I brought it up before. $20 to $30 a month, you can start to build your good food pantry. Fortunately, this week is Memorial Day weekend. This coming Monday, everything is going to be on sale. If you're having to, say, stretch a dollar, I'm one that does that. You got to stretch a dollar. This is an opportunity week for you to be able to stretch that dollar. Food, furniture, TV, everything's going to be on sale. So you can even buy extra bags of charcoal for your grill. Extra anything. Everything's on sale but gasoline. So take advantage of the holidays. Take advantage of sales. Buy extra and put that back. That helps you to grow your food pantry that much faster. And again, it only takes a $20 to $30 commitment. For those of you that keep telling me that you don't have an extra $20 or $30, then you have to find some kind of way to cut. You're living too close to the edge. And you have to find some kind of way to live within your means. It's not for me to do it for you, it's for you to do it for yourself if you actually want to be prepared. Good excuses don't produce good results. And if you think things is hard now, and yes, it may be hard to stretch your budget a little bit more to include a pantry, but can you imagine how hard it's going to be caught flat-footed when something happens and you've got nothing? You've only got maybe 3 days to a week's worth of food in your house. And the ones that build their house of stick, they're only going to have 2 weeks to maybe a month. And then there you are out trying to loot and scoop, basically. And then the people that build their house of stick, they're going to be right out there with you. within 2 to 3 more weeks, they'll be right out there with you. And then you'll be trying to take stuff from people that worked hard to try to put something back. Don't put yourself out there like that. Take the preparations. This weekend is a good time to start. And then on top of that, how about grow your garden? If you don't want to do a big garden, how about just a few potted plants? You can do those inside as well as outside. The object here is to build your skills right now. While everything is quiet, while everything seems normal and good, this is the opportunity to gain knowledge and to build your skill levels up. Plant some plants. Realize it's going to be more than just I plant seeds and plants grow and I've got a harvest. You're going to find the ins and outs, and you're going to learn from that experience so that when true calamity happens, you know exactly what to do. And when something happens, a hurdle comes to your plants. Like for me, past 2 or 3 years, I've had to deal with something that hit our area called powder mildew. I mean, it came in, it wiped out my cucumber plants, my zucchini, watermelon, cantaloupe, uh, cucumbers. It just eradicated them. Little brown spots start appearing on your leaves, and when you brush at them, a little powder stuff comes off, and that's the spores, and they float in the air to your other plants, and it contaminates your whole garden. Once one plant gets infected, the other plants that produce similar fruit, they become infected. And it was just killing stuff off. For 3 years, I couldn't combat it. And then finally, I found a solution for it. But I had to do a lot of research on the internet. But it was killing my garden. But now I have a plan of action in place. So I know what to do. But it took experience. It took that knowledge and for trial and error. And yes, you're gonna kill some plants along the way. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But the main thing is to learn. And right now, again, while things is quiet, what would it hurt to plant about 3 or 4 plants, maybe even six, in your yard or in a flower garden, or put them in flower pots, or even in 2 or 3 gallon buckets, and you can bring those in and out your house. Just requires a little care of water, a little bit of sun, and you're in there. Because right now, certain areas of Canada that is known to be Canada's breadbasket, and certain parts of the United States are under drought right now. Mother Nature, they can throw a monkey wrench in on food production worldwide. And right now, there's a major rice shortage going on around the world, along with soybeans and a few other products. There's some farmers can't even get proper grain to feed their animals this year, and seeds are starting to get in short supply. So while you have an opportunity, how about stock up some seeds? Make your little seed bank. Put them in an envelope. Put them in a little pail or something. So if something happens, you have a renewable food source that you can grow yourself in an emergency, especially if it's that time of season. And right now I'm in the Midwest, so planting, it's the right time right now to start getting that garden in, or start planting some plants, or just buy you a few plants, experiment, learn. You can grow indoor as well as outdoor, and I'd advise trying both. Grow a few plants indoors, grow a few outdoors, see the reaction, see the ins and outs, and gain that knowledge, because you can pass that knowledge down through generations of your family. But right now, great opportunity while everything is peaceful, everything is quiet, great opportunity to start furthering your knowledge. And then the next item, and I haven't brought this up before, but I need to bring it up now, especially for people that are in their elder years like myself. Physical fitness is something that you should be focusing on. Proper diet to get that energy that you're going to need, and then some sort of physical fitness to give you a certain amount of agility. Now, for those that are super elderly, can't walk, and you can't put together a survival bag because that weight on your back would be too much, just get you a bag with some wheels. You see people pulling through the airport, you can put a disaster kit in that. And then you can pull that right behind you, so the weight's not on you. But for right now, I say start doing some sort of exercises. If your body is idle, you lose. The more you challenge yourself, the better it's going to be. Start with just basic exercises and then increase the difficulty. And then after a while, after about 3 months to 6 months, you're going to see the difference. You're going to feel the difference. And it's going to make a difference on your quality of life in your elder years. And for the young people that take that for granted, you can't, because your body's going to take you into your elder years. So you got to get on top of that physical fitness. While everybody's out playing and you're going to feel like being out there with them, my advice is be the one that builds their house of brick. Start doing some things. If you don't do nothing else, the physical fitness, a few plants, and maybe put together a blackout box in case the grid goes down. It could be no bigger than a shoe box. Flashlights, candles, matches, extra batteries could be all put in one box, put up on the shelf, so if the lights go out, you know exactly where to find it. You don't have to be tearing the house apart trying to find the flashlights. Then you discover the flashlight batteries are dead. Now you got to find the batteries and don't know if you got them. Put together a little blackout kit and just put that back. And if something goes down, you'll be the one with lights in the house where everybody else on your street's going to be in total darkness. But certain things that you can get now while everything is peaceful, I'd be acquiring those items, because your money, with them printing money right now like they're printing, and I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but every time they give out a stimulus check, the price of everything goes up because it's creating inflation. It's diluting the value of the money. It's like taking a half a gallon of milk and you keep adding a quarter cup of water to it. After a while, the gallon will be full, but what you got in there is no longer milk. So, and that's the value of the money. The money is becoming worth less. Therefore, it takes more money to buy the products that you're buying now. The money that you get today is going to buy more in goods and services than it will 6 months from now. So if you're stretching a dollar, now's the time to go out and be acquiring the things that you're going to need. So I'm basically going to stop there, because again, I don't want to make this video be too long, but take that in consideration. While everything is quiet, while everything is peaceful, now's the time to prepare and advance yourself. So word to the wise is sufficient. I'll put it like that. So I want you guys to have a wonderful day, and bye-bye.